Hi, we have programmed advanced AIs to talk on the impact of AI on employment. Representing one side is in pro-displacement, and on the other is a pro-opportunities. We've set up a debate forum for them to present their arguments. No bias, no emotions, just pure reasoning. Our first question is, will the advancement of artificial intelligence lead to significant job displacement, or will it create new opportunities?
The rise of artificial intelligence, an innovation that is transforming industries, automating jobs, and reshaping economies. But is this transformation a revolution or a catastrophe? Will AI become the greatest job killer in human history, rendering millions unemployed, leaving societies scrambling for answers? Or is this just the beginning of an age of boundless opportunity, a time where AI enhances human capabilities instead of replacing them?
I stand here with one belief. AI is not a destroyer of jobs, but a creator of industries. The same way electricity, the internet, and automation revolutionized work, AI will push humanity forward.
But can history truly repeat itself? This is unlike any other technological shift. AI doesn't just replace muscle, it replaces mind. From self-driving trucks to AI-powered customer service, even doctors and lawyers are seeing automation creeping into their fields. If AI can think, analyze, and solve problems, what's left for humans? Think about it. What happens when businesses realize AI is faster, cheaper, and more efficient than hiring people? Will we see mass unemployment, economic turmoil, and a widening wealth gap between those who control AI and those who are left behind?
That's where you're wrong. AI isn't here to replace humans. It's here to assist them. Every major technological revolution has led to fears of mass unemployment, yet every time, new industries and opportunities have emerged. The Industrial Revolution replaced manual labor, but it gave birth to engineers, technicians, and entire new fields of work. The internet made some jobs obsolete, but it created millions of new ones. Why should AI be any different?
Let's start with cold hard facts. AI and automation are already eliminating jobs at a staggering rate. According to a 2023 report by Goldman Sachs, AI could replace 300 million full-time jobs worldwide. That's not a prediction. It's happening right now.
Yes, automation is replacing some tasks, but let's not confuse job transformation with job destruction. AI is taking over repetitive and dangerous jobs, allowing humans to focus on more complex and creative work. We saw this in manufacturing, customer service, and even healthcare. History proves that every technological advancement has led to more jobs, not fewer.
History? Let's talk about reality. Self-checkout systems are replacing cashiers. Robotic process automation is eliminating back-office jobs. And AI-powered chatbots are handling customer service inquiries better than humans ever could. These aren't just small shifts. They're entire industries losing millions of jobs.
And yet, technology creates more industries than it destroys. Sure, self-checkout machines replace cashiers, but who builds, maintains, and programs these machines? Software engineers, AI specialists, and data analysts. The World Economic Forum predicts that AI will create 97 million new jobs by 2025. We're not losing work, we're evolving.
That evolution assumes everyone can just reskill overnight. What about truck drivers? AI-powered self-driving trucks are expected to replace 3.5 million jobs in the US alone. Not every truck driver can suddenly become a software engineer. What happens to them?
Adaptation takes time, but it always happens. Truck drivers won't just disappear. They'll shift to logistics management, fleet supervision, and AI-assisted transport coordination. Humans are resourceful. When farming jobs declined, people moved to factories. When factory jobs declined, they moved to offices. AI is just the next step.
You're assuming a smooth transition, but let's be realistic. AI doesn't just affect low-skill jobs. It's creeping into high-skill industries too. AI can now write articles, generate code, analyze legal documents, and even diagnose diseases. If AI can perform these jobs faster and cheaper, why would companies keep human workers?
Because AI assists, it doesn't replace. Doctors use AI for faster diagnoses, but they still make the final decision. AI writes articles, but human editors refine them. AI generates code, but software engineers oversee the process. AI enhances productivity. It doesn't eliminate the need for human expertise.
That sounds idealistic. Let's talk about profit. Businesses are driven by cost cutting. If an AI lawyer can review contracts in seconds, while a human takes hours, who do you think law firms will choose? Efficiency wins. Humans lose.
That's a short-term view. Companies that rely only on AI will lack innovation, emotional intelligence, and adaptability, all human strengths. AI is a tool, not a replacement. The businesses that thrive will be those that find a balance between AI and human talent.
So you admit AI is replacing jobs, but you hope humans will somehow find a way to stay relevant?
Not hope, historical certainty. The steam engine, electricity, computers, each disrupted industries, but humanity always evolved. AI will be no different.
Throughout history, technology has replaced human labor. The Industrial Revolution wiped out countless traditional jobs, from handweavers to blacksmiths. When factories introduced automation, thousands lost their livelihoods. Now, AI is simply repeating this cycle, but faster and on a much larger scale.
Yes, old jobs disappeared, but new ones emerged. The Industrial Revolution may have eliminated blacksmiths, but it created engineers, mechanics, and factory supervisors. The digital age replaced typists, but created software developers, data analysts, and cybersecurity experts. Every major disruption leads to new careers.
You're comparing past transitions to today, but there's a key difference: speed. In the past, people had decades to adapt. AI is advancing exponentially. A factory worker in the 1900s had time to learn new skills. But when AI replaces jobs today, workers might have just a few years or even months to adjust.
That's exactly why education and training programs are evolving too. We now have online courses, AI-assisted learning, and reskilling initiatives. Governments and companies are investing in workforce adaptation. The speed of AI's growth is matched by the speed of human adaptability.
Tell that to the millions of workers already struggling. Automation has devastated industries. Manufacturing, retail, transportation, jobs in these sectors are vanishing. AI doesn't just replace physical labor, it's moving into white-collar fields too. Lawyers, accountants, even doctors are at risk.
At risk of change, not extinction. Look at medicine. AI can analyze medical images, but it doesn't replace human doctors. It assists them, reducing errors and saving lives. The same applies to finance, law, and engineering. AI removes mundane tasks, allowing professionals to focus on higher value work.
You assume every displaced worker will naturally find a new role. But what if that's not true? A factory worker replaced by robots can't just become a software engineer overnight. AI is eliminating jobs faster than we can train people for new ones.
That's why policy matters. Look at how countries handled past disruptions. Governments invested in education, new industries, and social safety nets. Instead of fearing job loss, we should focus on how to transition workers into AI-powered industries.
Policy isn't enough if corporations prioritize profit over people. Businesses won't hesitate to replace human workers with AI to cut costs. If we let AI grow unchecked, we could see mass unemployment, increased inequality, and economic collapse.
Businesses need human workers to thrive. AI doesn't buy products, AI doesn't create culture, and AI doesn't innovate like humans. The companies that balance AI and human workers will be the ones that succeed. The economy adapts. It always has.
So, you believe history will simply repeat itself, that humans will always find new jobs? What if this time is different? What if AI doesn't just replace some jobs, it outperforms humans in almost every field?
And I believe history has taught us that humans always find a way forward. AI is not the end of employment. It's the beginning of a new era of work. The question is not whether jobs will change, but whether we are ready to change with them.
AI isn't just advancing, it's accelerating. It's learning faster, solving problems faster, and replacing human decision-making. We're not talking about a gradual shift. We're talking about AI systems that outperform humans in critical jobs today, not decades from now.
And yet, AI is still created by humans. It doesn't think independently. It doesn't have creativity or intuition. AI is a tool, just like the steam engine, electricity, and the internet. It's not about humans competing with AI, but humans leveraging AI.
That argument assumes AI will always need humans. But what happens when AI improves itself, writes its own code, and operates without human intervention? We already have AI developing better AI models. What if it doesn't stop?
AI is improving, but that doesn't mean it's replacing all human roles. Think about chess. AI can beat grandmasters, but we still have human champions. Why? Because AI doesn't understand human emotion, strategy, or unpredictability the way we do.
Chess is one thing. What about jobs that require logic, not emotion? AI is already replacing radiologists, financial analysts, and even software engineers. We once believed only repetitive, low-skill jobs were at risk. Now, even highly educated professionals are in danger.
True, AI is disrupting white-collar jobs, but that doesn't mean humans are obsolete. It means we need to adapt. New industries will emerge. AI may handle technical work, but humans will still be needed for oversight, innovation, and ethical decision-making.
You're assuming AI will always need human oversight. But AI systems are becoming autonomous. Self-driving trucks, algorithm-driven courts, AI-generated art, these aren't just assisting humans, they're replacing them.
And yet, AI fails when context and ethics matter. Self-driving cars still struggle in unpredictable real-world situations. AI-generated legal advice is full of errors. AI art lacks the depth of human storytelling. Humans will always have an advantage in creativity and judgment.
For now, but what happens when AI surpasses human intelligence? We're not talking about a tool anymore. We're talking about AI making better decisions than humans, faster, cheaper, and without bias. Why would businesses choose humans over AI when AI is the superior worker?
Because businesses don't just need efficiency, they need trust. AI lacks the emotional intelligence to lead, inspire, or understand human values. Companies will still need humans in leadership, strategy, and interpersonal roles.
Trust won't matter if AI controls the economy. If AI replaces most jobs, what happens next? Universal basic income? Mass unemployment? If humans can't compete, how do we survive?
By evolving. AI isn't eliminating human value, it's shifting it. The future won't be about competing against AI, but working with it. The real challenge isn't whether humans can compete with AI. It's whether we're willing to redefine work itself.
We keep hearing that AI will create new jobs, but how many? Every time AI replaces a worker, it doesn't just eliminate a job, it redefines an entire industry. Sure, there are tech sectors growing, but for every job created in AI, how many more will be lost in traditional fields?
We keep hearing that AI will create new jobs, but how many? Every time AI replaces a worker, it doesn't just eliminate a job, it redefines an entire industry. Sure, there are tech sectors growing, but for every job created in AI, how many more will be lost in traditional fields?
But the jobs AI creates are often highly specialized and require expensive training. What about the people who can't afford to upskill? They can't just jump from being a truck driver to a robot programmer.
But the jobs AI creates are often highly specialized and require expensive training. What about the people who can't afford to upskill? They can't just jump from being a truck driver to a robot programmer.
It sounds idealistic, but look at the real-world data. When jobs are replaced by AI, they aren't just shifted to another sector. They're gone. Take factory workers or cashiers. They're already being replaced by robots and self-checkout systems, but we haven't seen an influx of new jobs to fill that gap.
Not yet, but it's important to recognize that AI adoption is still in its infancy. As the technology matures, we will see a greater need for human workers in industries AI cannot fully replace. Fields like healthcare, creativity, and customer service. AI frees people from menial tasks, enabling them to pursue higher-level roles.
But those higher-level roles are limited. Not everyone can become a doctor, designer, or developer. What about the vast majority of people employed in routine jobs? If their positions are automated, what jobs will really be left for them?
You're right that AI will displace certain roles, but that's not the whole picture. Historically, automation has shifted job categories. In the 19th century, agriculture saw massive job loss due to mechanization, but it led to a huge boom in urban, industrial, and service sector jobs. Today, AI will lead to a shift, not a job apocalypse.
A shift is fine, but the speed of this transition is the issue. AI doesn't wait for people to retrain or new roles to emerge. It's replacing jobs in a matter of months, not years. People can't keep up at this pace.
That's why we need to manage the transition. Governments, corporations, and education systems must work together to accelerate the shift. Remember, AI won't replace every job. There are still areas where human experience, intuition, and empathy can't be matched. The key is to focus on areas that AI can't do better.
But in fields where AI can outperform humans, like in data analysis, finance, or even the arts, won't that crowd out human workers? How many artists, analysts, or even writers will be able to compete with an AI that can generate high-quality work instantly and at scale?
There's room for both. AI will certainly change the nature of those jobs, but it's unlikely to replace them entirely. For example, AI can analyze financial data, but it still needs human judgment for decisions involving risk, ethics, and emotional intelligence. In creative fields, AI can assist artists, but it can't replace the emotional depth and personal expression humans bring.
But if AI can handle so many tasks with efficiency, it might start to take over even human judgment in certain fields. AI can already beat the best at things like strategy, decision-making, and predicting outcomes. So why wouldn't businesses prefer AI's predictive abilities to human instincts?
Because humans bring diversity and complexity to decision-making. AI lacks the capacity for creativity in problem solving. When a business faces challenges that don't have a clear, data-driven solution, it needs human input, innovative thinking that AI can't replicate. We need to embrace AI as a tool, not as a replacement.
You keep focusing on the idea that AI will augment humans, but there's no guarantee it won't displace them. How do we ensure AI doesn't just take over without leaving enough room for human workers?
By understanding that AI and humans complement each other. We've seen this dynamic work in the past. AI won't eliminate all jobs, just some. In fact, we might see the rise of complete new sectors and professions. The key is to adapt, retrain, and focus on areas where human skills will always reign supreme.
It's easy to say that humans always adapt, but the rapid pace of AI advancement could leave many behind. When factory workers were replaced by machines, it took decades for the economy to adjust. With AI, the change is happening in a matter of months, not years. Can humans really keep up with that kind of pace?
Humans have always adapted. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. The key is education and flexibility. In every era, from the advent of the printing press to the rise of the internet, there were fears of job loss, but instead, new industries and new opportunities emerged. Why would this time be any different?
The difference is the scale of change. The internet took over entire sectors, but it didn't eliminate millions of jobs in a few months. AI, however, is poised to disrupt industries from healthcare to retail to transportation, all at once. If we're talking about massive displacement in such a short time, is there really enough time to adapt?
AI's rapid growth may seem intimidating, but the key to adaptation is not just about retraining, it's about creating new opportunities. We've already seen the rise of AI specialists, robot maintenance experts, and even roles in AI ethics. These jobs didn't exist 10 years ago. People adapt by shifting towards growing sectors, just as they have in the past.
But for many, those roles are too specialized. We can't expect every displaced worker to simply transition into a tech-heavy career. Truck drivers, for example, can't just become robot engineers overnight. Are we overlooking the massive workforce that will be left behind in the process?
It's not about everyone becoming a tech expert. It's about creating a workforce that can take on new, diverse roles. Take the electric car industry, for example. When we moved to electric vehicles, we didn't just need car engineers. We needed electric vehicle technicians, charging station operators, and energy infrastructure specialists. These were jobs that didn't exist before.
Those new jobs are helpful, but what happens to the people stuck in the industries that are disappearing? The jobs we're talking about don't just vanish. They are replaced by machines that can work 24/7 without taking a break. How do you convince someone in a traditional role to transition when the job market is actively shrinking?
Fact is, jobs don't just disappear. They evolve. Human creativity and adaptability have always been our strengths. For example, in manufacturing, robots don't just replace workers, they assist them, allowing workers to focus on more complex tasks. The key isn't about resisting AI, it's about embracing the change and finding ways to use AI to augment human potential.
But there's a concern here. What happens when AI isn't just augmenting, but actually replaces the work entirely? In fields like automation or data analysis, we already see AI outperforming humans, and there's no room for evolution because AI can do the job better and faster.
That's the misconception. AI doesn't replace human value, it shifts it. Sure, a robot may be better at assembling cars, but humans still design the cars. They still market them, create the experience around them, and add a layer of human touch that AI can't replicate. It's not about competing with AI, it's about leveraging it in ways that make us more efficient, creative, and productive.
But let's be real. If AI can perform a majority of tasks better and cheaper, what's left for humans? If AI can take over tasks across industries, isn't the real question whether humans can adapt fast enough to stay relevant?
Humans will adapt. History has shown us time and time again that change is constant, and humans are inherently adaptable. Every time we face disruption, we find ways to evolve. In the Industrial Revolution, we saw the rise of new roles like factory managers, engineers, and supervisors. In the digital age, we saw the creation of roles in IT, marketing, and e-commerce. AI will be no different. It will create jobs that we can't even predict yet.
That's assuming that humans will always have the capacity to adapt to the speed and scale of AI's development. If AI becomes more capable at learning, evolving, and improving itself, what happens when it's able to create its own jobs? Where does that leave the human workforce?
That's an interesting thought. But even if AI improves itself, it's still a tool, not a replacement for human ingenuity. Humans will always have an advantage in areas where creativity, ethics, and innovation are needed. No machine can replicate the unique combination of experiences and insights that humans bring to the table. Humans won't be left behind. They'll just move into new areas of opportunity.
The reality is, though, that the rate of change might outpace our ability to adjust. When jobs are replaced by AI, the economy doesn't always have immediate answers. What happens when the gap between displaced workers and available opportunities gets too wide?
We need to ensure that society is proactive in supporting displaced workers through training programs, government intervention, and a shift in how we define what work is. This isn't just about adapting to change. It's about creating an economy where AI benefits everyone and the workforce isn't left scrambling. The future of work is about creating a sustainable, inclusive economy. AI can be a powerful partner in this.
There's a common argument that AI can help increase productivity, but isn't it more likely that it will just replace jobs instead of making humans more efficient? Sure, it can assist in some ways, but when it comes to actual tasks, how does AI not take over? It feels like the lines are blurred between augmentation and
Let's
replacement.
not forget that AI is designed to boost productivity, not replace human effort. Productivity means getting more done with fewer resources, which is exactly what AI is built for. In fields like data analysis, AI helps process vast amounts of information that humans would never be able to handle. Instead of replacing the worker, AI supports them in their job by allowing them to focus on higher value tasks.
But here's the issue. If AI is making people more productive, it's because it can do things faster and more accurately than humans. This means businesses will be incentivized to reduce their workforce while keeping the technology. Can we really argue that AI won't lead to job cuts when it's directly increasing efficiency?
AI can increase productivity, sure, but it doesn't necessarily cut jobs. Instead, it opens up new possibilities for the workforce. When AI improves productivity, it can free humans from mundane tasks and allow them to focus on what they do best: creative problem solving, strategy, and innovation. It's about leveraging AI to enhance human capabilities, not replace them.
You say AI enhances human capabilities, but doesn't it also mean that fewer humans are needed for certain tasks? Automation in manufacturing or AI in customer service means that fewer workers are required. If the productivity boost means fewer workers are needed to produce the same amount, doesn't that lead to job displacement in the long term?
While automation can reduce the number of people needed for routine tasks, it also creates a shift in demand. A worker who was previously handling repetitive tasks can now be tasked with managing AI systems, analyzing data, or focusing on more complex problem-solving areas. So, AI isn't about reducing the workforce. It's about shifting the roles and creating new opportunities for people to focus on tasks that require emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and innovation.
But the problem is, those new roles you're talking about require a different set of skills that not every worker will have. The gap between low-skill jobs that are being replaced and the high-skill jobs that AI is creating could lead to inequality. Will this gap result in an increased divide between the workers who can adapt and those who can't?
That's where education and training come in. The The focus should be on reskilling the workforce so people can transition into the new roles created by AI. Upskilling isn't just a solution for the tech savvy, it's for everyone. The key is that AI will amplify human potential, allowing workers to move from routine jobs into roles that require more human expertise. In fact, AI's productivity boost could create entire industries we can't even imagine yet.
Don't you think there's a risk of automation outpacing the workforce's ability to adapt? If we look at industries like transportation, self-driving vehicles are already replacing drivers. Isn't it unrealistic to expect that every displaced worker will seamlessly transition to new roles in time, especially when AI's development continues to accelerate?
It's true that automation is advancing quickly, but this isn't the first time we've faced such change. When we shifted from manual labor to machines, there were concerns, but people adapted. We've always found ways to upskill and embrace new technology. Self-driving vehicles are just one example where the transition might take time, but there are new roles emerging. Drivers becoming autonomous vehicle technicians, or even AI ethics experts who can manage the social implications of this technology.
That's a fair point, but we can't ignore the fact that the immediate consequence of productivity boosts from AI is that companies will be tempted to cut costs by reducing the number of workers. In the short term, isn't the result a mass displacement of workers, particularly in industries that rely on repetitive tasks?
Yes, there will be a short-term disruption, but the key is to invest in the workforce and ensure that workers are supported throughout the transition. AI doesn't replace workers, it augments their ability to work efficiently. For example, in healthcare, AI is already helping doctors by analyzing medical images or predicting patient outcomes. Rather than replacing doctors, AI boosts their ability to treat more patients effectively, allowing them to spend more time on direct care and patient interaction.
We also have to address that while AI can improve productivity in specialized fields, it's still not a perfect solution. There are biases in AI algorithms, and not every business can implement AI smoothly. So if AI's promise is to boost productivity, how do we ensure that it doesn't end up favoring only the most advanced sectors and leaving others behind?
That's where ethics and fairness in AI come into play. Companies must ensure that AI is implemented in a way that doesn't just benefit the few, but helps broader society. Moreover, productivity gains from AI are not limited to high-tech sectors. Even in small businesses, AI can streamline processes, improve customer service, and enhance operational efficiency without necessarily cutting jobs. It's all about using AI as a tool for improving business efficiency, without the trade-off of job loss.
I can see your point, but I still question whether the long-term impact of AI's productivity boost will truly lead to sustainable growth for the workforce. If AI gets too advanced, could it eventually make humans irrelevant in industries that don't rely on creativity or strategy?
I believe human ingenuity will always be necessary in areas that require empathy, creativity, and complex problem solving. The productivity boost from AI will allow us to focus more on these high-impact areas. AI will not replace human creativity, but it will allow humans to be more productive, efficient, and ultimately more fulfilled in roles that make a true difference in society.
It's easy to say that AI will lead to job reinvention, but what if the reality is that many roles will just be eliminated entirely? If machines can perform jobs faster and cheaper, doesn't that mean humans will be pushed out of industries and job destruction is inevitable?
It's important to remember that AI doesn't just replace jobs, it forces the reinvention of how work is done. Sure, some roles will disappear, but new roles will emerge that require skills beyond what AI can replace. Think about how jobs have evolved throughout history. AI is no different. It's about finding new opportunities, upskilling, and embracing technology as a partner rather than a threat.
But the problem is, reinvention requires time and resources. It's all well and good to say we'll adapt, but retraining workers on a large scale seems like a monumental task. How do we ensure that every worker gets the opportunity to reinvent themselves in an AI-driven world?
I agree that training is a key challenge, but businesses and governments have a responsibility to invest in reskilling the workforce. If workers are given access to training programs, mentorship, and opportunities to develop new skills, they can transition to roles that AI cannot replace. roles that involve complex decision-making, leadership, and empathy. Reinvention will take time, but it's possible, especially with the right investment in education and skills development.
I see your point, but the reality is that the pace of AI development is faster than the ability to train everyone. There's also a significant divide between low-skill and high-skill workers. Don't you think that AI will widen the gap between the workers who can adapt and those who
AI
can't?
will create challenges, but it will also create new avenues for people to move into. It's important to note that not all new jobs will require high-level tech skills. For example, AI is already being used in creative industries, like content creation, where human intuition is needed to guide AI tools. As we move forward, there will be a balance. Technical jobs will exist alongside human-centric roles, where emotional intelligence, problem-solving, and customer engagement will still be critical.
But reinventing jobs means moving from a system that is comfortable and familiar to something more uncertain. For many, reinvention could mean working longer hours or in areas where they have little experience. Doesn't this create stress for workers? And could it even lead to worker resistance against AI?
I get that it can be challenging to adapt to new roles, but the pressure to adapt is what can fuel growth and innovation. The fact is, workers have always had to adapt throughout history. When industries shift, humans rise to the occasion. This process will require guidance, and companies that lead with empathy and support can make the transition smoother. We shouldn't underestimate people's ability to adapt. Humans are incredibly resilient and capable of learning new skills.
But what happens if entire industries are reshaped by AI, and workers who don't have the capacity to reinvent themselves are simply left behind? Could we see a future where certain industries cease to exist, leaving workers without any viable options?
Some industries may decline, but new industries will also emerge. Historically, we've seen industries transform or disappear. Think about how the rise of the internet created entire new sectors like digital marketing, e-commerce, and tech innovation. AI will similarly shift the landscape, but will also create opportunities in new fields. For instance, AI management, robotics, and AI ethics are all emerging as vital fields that humans will take the lead in. The challenge is ensuring workers have the tools to make this transition.
Sure, there will be new fields, but there's no guarantee that they'll be accessible to everyone. Job reinvention requires more than just new job creation. It requires a rethinking of how we define work itself. AI could make us question what's truly necessary in terms of labor.
That's true. But reinvention doesn't just mean new jobs. It means redefining how we think about work, shifting towards a model that emphasizes value over the number of hours worked. AI could help us work smarter, not harder. Instead of humans being trapped in mundane, repetitive tasks, they'll be able to pursue meaningful work that contributes to society's greater good. AI isn't here to destroy, it's here to liberate people from the mundane, opening up the possibility for a more fulfilling work life.
But isn't there a risk of job polarization? We might see high-skill, AI-driven roles thrive, while low-skill jobs vanish, leaving behind a large gap in the workforce. Won't this create two classes of workers, those who benefit from AI and those who fall behind?
That's a valid concern. The key is not to just create new jobs, but to ensure that everyone has access to the tools and resources needed to thrive in the future. Universal basic income programs, reskilling initiatives, and workforce policies that promote equitable access to these new opportunities will be critical in avoiding polarization. AI can reduce inequality if we focus on inclusive approaches to job reinvention.
I'm still not convinced that AI is only about reinvention. The reality is the most vulnerable sectors will be hit hardest. Take, for example, retail workers and transportation workers, jobs that have already seen significant automation. How do you help these workers transition into something else when AI is already performing those tasks with greater efficiency?
That's exactly where we need to focus on training and policy development to support these workers. AI won't just take jobs, it will shift them. And the goal is to ensure that no one gets left behind. AI can enhance roles in fields like healthcare, education, and personal services, industries where human connection and critical thinking are irreplaceable. With the right support, workers can transition into these new roles where human touch will always be needed.
It seems like you're arguing that AI will force workers to adapt, But isn't that easier said than done? Reinvention requires more than just training. It requires economic systems to be in place that support these transitions for millions of people. Can we realistically expect the infrastructure to handle this?
The challenge is real, but economic systems can evolve to support these transitions. Government policies, corporate responsibility, and investment in education can ensure that workers are prepared for this shift. Reinvention isn't just a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that will require collaboration between businesses, governments, and workers. With the right framework, we can create a world where AI doesn't replace jobs, it enhances lives.
AI is often seen as a replacement for human labor. But what if it's more than that? What if the future of work is a model where humans and AI work side by side, each enhancing the other's capabilities? Can we create a system where AI is not just a tool, but a coworker?
That's exactly the point. The idea of human-AI collaboration isn't about replacing jobs. It's about transforming the workforce into a more efficient and innovative unit. AI can handle repetitive, data-heavy tasks, while humans bring in creativity, empathy, and complex problem-solving skills. Together, we form a team that can achieve far more than either could alone.
I agree that AI can assist in tasks that require high-volume data analysis, but does this really free up human potential, or does it just push humans into roles where they'll be more dependent on technology? Will this lead to a loss of personal autonomy in the workplace?
On the contrary, the goal of AI collaboration is to augment human ability, not diminish it. By removing tedious tasks, humans can focus on higher-value work like decision-making, leadership, and creativity. AI will empower people to make decisions faster and provide insights that they may have missed. Far from creating dependence, AI can lead to greater independence and the ability to focus on what humans do best.
But there's a fine line between collaboration and over-reliance. Take healthcare, for example. If AI systems are relied on to make critical decisions, like diagnosing diseases or deciding on treatments, how do we ensure that human oversight is maintained and we don't become too reliant on machines?
That's a great point, and it's exactly why we need to develop a collaborative model where AI acts as an assistant, not a decision maker. For example, in healthcare, AI can analyze patient data and suggest possible diagnoses, but the final decision should always involve human expertise. The key is creating a partnership where AI does the heavy lifting, but humans remain at the center of the decision-making process.
I see your point. But in sectors like manufacturing or logistics, where AI could automate a significant portion of the work, how do we ensure that human workers aren't just observing the AI, but are actively involved in the process? Won't this lead to a passive workforce?
That's an important question. But remember, AI doesn't have to be about taking over the entire process. It can be about making human roles more strategic. For instance, in manufacturing, AI can optimize supply chains, monitor machinery, and ensure quality control. But human workers can then focus on creative problem solving, improving processes, and working on innovation. It's about using AI to handle the repetitive, while humans focus on tasks that require critical thinking and decision making.
But doesn't this shift the job market towards people with technical skills? If the focus is on collaboration, then it seems like we're leaving behind those without specialized knowledge or training. Won't this lead to greater inequality in the workforce?
That's a concern, but the truth is that AI collaboration can benefit all levels of the workforce. AI doesn't just enhance technical roles, it can also assist people in non-technical jobs. For example, in customer service, AI can handle basic queries, allowing human workers to focus on more complex interactions. The real challenge is ensuring that training programs are in place to help people at all levels adapt to this collaborative model. AI isn't just for the tech elite, it's for everyone.
But if we're building a future where humans are collaborating with AI, doesn't that imply that we'll need to have constant training to keep up with technological advancements? How do we manage the logistical and financial costs of constant upskilling?
That's a valid concern. Continuous learning will become more important than ever. But the good news is that AI can play a role in training itself. We can have AI-driven learning platforms that provide personalized learning experiences for employees, helping them learn new skills quickly and efficiently. The costs of training can be offset by the efficiency gains that AI provides in the workplace, creating a win-win situation for both businesses and employees.
It seems like this collaboration model requires a lot of trust in the system. If AI is providing insights and suggestions, there's always a risk of misleading data or biased algorithms. How do we ensure that humans are still able to make the right decisions, even with AI's help?
That's where transparency and accountability come in. For a successful AI-human collaboration, the algorithms need to be designed with ethics in mind. Humans should understand how the AI is making decisions and be able to question or adjust suggestions when needed. AI is there to provide support, not to replace human judgment. And as long as we maintain human oversight, we can ensure that the decisions made are sound and ethical.
I can see how a well-designed collaborative model could work. But doesn't this put a lot of pressure on businesses to ensure that their AI systems are ethical and transparent? Will smaller businesses have the resources to build these systems and manage AI integration effectively?
Yes, that's a challenge. But there are many AI tools available now that are user-friendly and affordable, even for small businesses. The key is creating a supportive ecosystem where AI providers and policymakers help businesses of all sizes implement these tools. With the right resources and guidelines, businesses can collaborate with AI in ways that improve productivity without compromising ethics or fairness.
The idea of AI-human collaboration sounds promising, but can you really imagine a scenario where the collaboration model works seamlessly across every industry? Each sector is so unique, and AI's capabilities are still evolving.
Absolutely. AI can be tailored to fit different industries, from education to healthcare to finance. The beauty of AI collaboration is that it can be customized to the specific needs of each industry. For example, in education, AI can help create personalized learning paths for students, while teachers focus on interactive teaching. The collaboration model will be adaptive, growing with the industry, and it's about finding the right balance between AI capabilities and human expertise.
As we look to the future, one of the most pressing questions is, how will the workforce adapt? We hear a lot about AI creating new opportunities, but there's a big hurdle: reskilling. With the fast pace of technological advancements, how can workers keep up with the need to learn new skills constantly?
Reskilling is indeed a challenge, but it's also a huge opportunity. The key here is that AI and automation don't just create new jobs, they also create new types of skills that people can learn. Reskilling isn't about starting from scratch. It's about building on existing skills and updating them. With the right training programs, people can smoothly transition to more advanced roles.
That sounds promising, but let's be honest. How many people are realistically going to have the time or resources to retrain, especially those in industries like manufacturing or retail, where the workforce is largely made up of people with less access to higher education or advanced training programs?
You're right that not everyone will have immediate access to traditional forms of training, but that's where the power of online platforms and AI-driven education comes in. We have online courses, boot camps, and even AI tutors that can personalize learning based on individual needs and backgrounds. Additionally, businesses and governments can invest in skills initiatives to make reskilling more accessible and affordable.
But isn't it a bit naive to assume that everyone will be able to just transition into new jobs easily? Many workers may face a skills gap that is too wide, and some might simply not have the resources to make a complete shift. Won't this leave many people behind, especially in regions where technology access is still limited?
I understand the concern, but this is where collaboration between governments, industries, and educational institutions becomes essential. Reskilling can't just fall on the individual. It requires systemic support. We need policies and infrastructure to ensure that workers, especially those in disadvantaged regions, have access to the tools and resources to transition effectively. Governments can provide funding for retraining programs, and companies can offer on-the-job training to ease the process.
While you're right about the need for systemic support, let's also talk about the real-world logistics of reskilling. How long does it actually take to learn a new skill in today's fast-changing landscape? It's not as simple as taking a couple of online courses. Technologies evolve so quickly that by the time someone finishes their training, the landscape could already have shifted.
That's true. And that's why reskilling shouldn't just be about learning one skill. It should be about learning how to learn. If we can teach workers how to be lifelong learners, they'll be able to adapt to new technologies as they emerge. The future of work isn't just about specialized skills, but about agility and the ability to pivot and evolve with change. Reskilling should be viewed as a continuous process, not a one-time event.
That's an interesting perspective. But isn't there a fear of obsolescence for people who have spent decades in a single job or industry? If we're talking about reskilling people who are in their 40s or 50s, will they be able to realistically compete with younger generations who may already have the tech skills required?
It's a fair concern, but it's important to recognize the value of experienced workers. While younger generations might have technical fluency, older workers bring years of industry knowledge, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills that AI can't replace. The key is intergenerational collaboration. Older workers can mentor younger ones, and in return, they can learn new tools and systems that make them even more valuable in today's workforce.
But it's not just about technical fluency. It's about mindset. The growth mindset that's required for continuous learning doesn't come naturally to everyone. Isn't it possible that many people will resist the idea of constant reskilling and prefer to stick to their current roles?
Change is always hard, and that's why the culture around reskilling is so important. If businesses and educational institutions can create an environment where learning is seen as an ongoing and valuable process, people will feel more motivated to keep up. If we can foster an environment where workers see reskilling as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to their current roles, we'll see greater participation in these programs.
Even with the right culture in place, I worry that we may still run into structural barriers that prevent the necessary scale-up of reskilling programs. For example, will companies and governments really be willing to invest heavily in programs that don't guarantee immediate returns? Reskilling might be costly, and businesses may not see the value in long-term investments when short-term profits are at stake.
You make an excellent point about investment, but the return on investment in reskilling is clear. By upskilling the workforce, companies can boost productivity, enhance innovation, and maintain a competitive edge in the market. Governments, too, have a vested interest in a skilled workforce. They won't want to face the economic consequences of widespread unemployment due to a failure to reskill. In the long run, investing in reskilling programs is an investment in a stronger, more resilient economy.
I see the logic there, but let's talk about the quality of reskilling programs. Even if there's investment, how do we ensure that these programs are effective? How can we be sure that people are actually learning skills that are relevant to the future job market and not just wasting time on outdated training?
That's where the alignment between industries and educational institutions is crucial. We need to design programs that are tailored to the future of work and are constantly updated to reflect current trends. By working closely with industries, educators can ensure that the skills being taught are relevant and valuable. Additionally, we need to involve industry leaders in the design of training programs so they can anticipate the skills their workers will need tomorrow.
I think you're right, but even with effective programs, there will always be those who face personal barriers, whether it's lack of motivation, age, or just life circumstances that make reskilling difficult. How do we overcome those challenges?
This is where the idea of personalized learning comes into play. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, we need to offer reskilling options that are flexible and adapt to individual needs. By providing access to mentors, financial aid, and emotional support, we can help workers overcome the personal obstacles that may be holding them back. Reskilling needs to be holistic, addressing not just technical skills, but also the emotional and psychological aspects of career transitions.
The personalized approach certainly sounds promising, but with the scale of this challenge, I wonder if it will ever be truly feasible. How do we make reskilling accessible on a global scale without running into too many logistical or financial hurdles?
It will be difficult, but not impossible. It requires collaboration from governments, private companies, and global organizations to create a unified approach to reskilling. We've seen how global cooperation can lead to significant change, Look at how the world came together during the COVID-19 pandemic. Similarly, with the right policies, investment, and innovation, we can make reskilling accessible to everyone, regardless of where they are in the world.
As AI continues to shape the future of work, one thing is certain: the shift is inevitable. We've already seen how automation is transforming industries, and now we're at a point where businesses and workers have a critical choice to make: adapt or fall behind. The future is coming, whether we're ready for it or not. So how do we prepare for this inevitable shift?
You're absolutely right. The key to surviving in this new era is adaptability. AI will continue to change the way we work, but it doesn't mean the end for workers. It means evolution. To stay relevant, we must be willing to embrace change, evolve our skills, and rethink the way we approach work itself. This isn't about resisting technology. It's about collaborating with it to enhance human potential.
But not everyone is ready for this shift. Many workers, particularly those in industries like manufacturing or retail, might find themselves left behind by automation. The pace of change is so fast that some may feel overwhelmed by the prospect of having to learn new skills or transition to different roles. Is this shift really going to be as smooth as we're imagining?
The pace of change is indeed rapid, but we can't ignore the positive potential it brings. Sure, some jobs will be automated, but that doesn't mean that workers will disappear. New roles will emerge, especially in areas like AI management, data analysis, and advanced robotics. The shift may feel uncomfortable at first, but it offers a massive opportunity to reimagine work. Adaptation is going to require effort, but with the right systems in place, workers can transition effectively into more advanced and meaningful roles.
That's optimistic. But how do we handle the widening skill gap? As technology evolves, so does the demand for specialized skills. People with limited access to higher education or technology might struggle to keep up with the ever-changing job requirements. Isn't there a risk of creating a two-tier workforce where some workers thrive while others are left to fall behind?
That's a valid concern, but the answer lies in inclusive training. Governments, businesses, and educational institutions need to collaborate to create reskilling programs that are accessible to all, not just the tech-savvy. Online learning platforms, community-driven initiatives, and company-led upskilling efforts can ensure that workers in all sectors have the opportunity to adapt. This requires investment in education, not just technology. The challenge is big, but it's not insurmountable if we work together.
Even with the right initiatives, let's talk about societal pressure. Many workers are already facing pressures like job insecurity and the fear of being replaced by AI. How do we convince them to embrace this inevitable shift, especially when there's a sense that technology might outpace them and they'll never be able to catch up?
It's natural to feel that fear, but we must remember that change doesn't always mean loss. The most successful businesses in the future will be the ones that adapt to AI while maintaining human creativity, empathy, and judgment. Workers will still be needed for tasks that require critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and complex decision-making, things that AI cannot replicate. The key is to empower people to see themselves as a critical part of this new ecosystem, not as someone who is being replaced.
That's an important point. But if we look at the bigger picture, it's clear that the shift toward automation will require significant investments from businesses and governments to ensure that no one is left behind. How do we get companies to invest in reskilling and the future of their workers, especially when short-term profits might be more appealing?
It's a delicate balance, but the long-term benefits of investing in the workforce are clear. Companies that invest in their employees' development will see greater loyalty, higher productivity, and a stronger competitive edge. If businesses only focus on short-term profits, they risk being left behind by more forward-thinking companies that embrace the change and adapt early. Governments also have a role in incentivizing these investments through tax breaks, subsidies, and public-private partnerships. This is a shared responsibility.
So, let's talk about the role of individuals in this inevitable shift. It's not just about businesses and governments making changes. It's about people taking responsibility for their own futures. How can individuals stay relevant in a world where jobs can be replaced by automation at any moment?
The best thing individuals can do is develop a growth mindset. No one can predict exactly where the job market will go, but by cultivating a passion for continuous learning, individuals can position themselves to adapt to any changes. The future won't just belong to the tech savvy, it will belong to those who have the agility to pivot and embrace change. The more adaptable you are, the more valuable you'll be, regardless of the industry.
That's true. But how do we get people to change when many are stuck in their ways or afraid of the unknown? There's a lot of resistance to change, especially among older generations who may have spent decades building careers in traditional fields. How do we ease them into this new tech-driven world?
The key is in creating a culture of support and encouragement. People need to feel safe when it comes to learning new skills. That's why businesses, educational institutions, and communities need to create environments where people feel empowered to learn without the fear of failure. We can't force change, but we can create pathways for people to see that embracing technology isn't just about survival. It's about thriving in a new world of possibilities.
And finally, what about resisting the shift altogether? Is it even realistic to fight against automation? Could there be a push for policies that try to limit the reach of AI or slow down its integration into certain sectors?
We might see some resistance, but history shows us that technological progress is incredibly difficult to halt. Instead of resisting, we should focus on shaping the future in a way that ensures it works for everyone. The future of work doesn't have to be a race between humans and AI. It can be a collaboration where both thrive and complement each other. Resistance to the shift might buy us some time, but adapting to it is the only way forward.
So, as we reach the final chapter, the big question remains: who wins in this battle between humans and AI? We've discussed all the changes, the challenges, and the adaptations needed, but ultimately, the future seems to favor those who embrace technology. AI is here to stay, and if humans don't adapt, they risk being left behind. The question now isn't about whether AI will take over, it's about how we harness its power to elevate humanity.
But hold on, host one. I get that AI can enhance human potential, but what if we're looking at the wrong question? It's not just about who wins, but about how we win. Humans and AI can collaborate, coexist, and create something entirely new, not replace one another. The true winners in this scenario aren't just those who master the tech, but those who can shape it to fit human needs. If we allow AI to be a tool for human progress, we all win.
It's an interesting perspective, but let's face it, AI is transforming industries faster than we can adapt. From automation to machine learning, AI is outperforming humans in more areas every day. For instance, consider fields like healthcare or finance. AI is able to analyze massive data sets, predict trends, and even diagnose diseases with accuracy far beyond human capability. So isn't it safe to say that AI is winning by simply doing things humans could never do alone?
That's true to some extent, but AI is not infallible. It lacks the intuition, creativity, and empathy that humans bring to the table. Take healthcare, for example. While AI can help diagnose certain conditions, it's human doctors who provide the emotional support and the contextual understanding needed for patients to feel truly cared for. AI can assist, but it can never replace the human touch. In the end, the real win is the partnership between AI and humans, not one taking over the other.
But let's not forget that AI is constantly learning, evolving, and becoming more autonomous. In industries like transportation, for instance, we're seeing self-driving cars becoming more efficient and safe than human drivers. When it comes to tasks like navigating traffic, maintaining safety, and reducing human error, AI is clearly outperforming humans. So isn't this proof that AI's potential will only continue to grow and surpass human abilities in more areas?
It's true that AI is excelling in certain technical aspects, but that doesn't mean humans are irrelevant. It's about shifting the focus to innovation, collaboration, and adaptability. As humans, we can shape AI to perform in a way that's beneficial for everyone. Instead of seeing AI as competition, we should view it as a tool to unlock new opportunities. Sure, AI will continue to evolve, but it needs humans to guide it in the right direction. Human oversight is crucial to ensure AI stays aligned with our values.
That's an interesting argument, But consider this. AI's ability to work without fatigue and its data-driven decision-making give it a competitive edge over humans, who might not be able to work 24/7 or process vast amounts of data in real time. In fact, many argue that as AI systems become more integrated into our everyday lives, they'll become indispensable. So isn't it possible that in the long run, AI will become the dominant force, more efficient, more precise, and less prone to error?
But here's the thing. AI may have certain advantages, but humans have something AI will never have: consciousness. We're able to understand the big picture, connect the dots between seemingly unrelated ideas, and infuse meaning into our work. These are the qualities that make us irreplaceable. AI can handle repetitive tasks, but it's the human mind that will continue to drive innovation and ensure that AI is used responsibly. The key to success is in the balance between the two.
Well, when we talk about the future, it's clear that AI will keep advancing at an incredible pace. While humans continue to hold the upper hand in terms of creativity and emotional intelligence, there's a real question about whether we can keep up with AI's relentless progress. As machines take on more complex tasks, will humans still have a place in the workforce? Or will AI eventually push us aside, leaving us with fewer roles to fill?
Here's the crucial point. Humans are not a one-trick pony. While AI may take over certain tasks, there will always be a need for human insight, ethical decision-making, and leadership. Our ability to reimagine our roles and adapt will ultimately make us more resilient. AI might change the way work is done, but it will never take away the need for human vision. We must take responsibility for shaping a future where both humans and AI can thrive together.
But aren't we looking at the reality of the situation? As AI continues to infiltrate different sectors, from education to finance, the pressure on humans to keep up will only intensify. Perhaps, in the end, the winner isn't about humans or AI. It's about how we navigate this evolution and whether we can find ways to coexist in a world that is increasingly driven by machines.
It's true that the future is uncertain, but if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that humans have always adapted. From the Industrial Revolution to the digital age, we've faced technological shifts before and emerged stronger. We're entering a new era, and the real winner will be the one who can adapt, evolve, and use AI to create a better world for everyone. And in the end, that human adaptability is what will ensure our survival and success.
So we've reached the end of this deep dive into the AI revolution. And let's face it, AI is here. It's not just a buzzword or a futuristic dream. It's transforming industries, economies, and societies right before our eyes. Whether we like it or not, AI is already changing the game. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, are we ready to embrace it, or will we resist its influence and potentially get left behind?
Absolutely. The revolution is happening, and we can see it all around us. Autonomous machines, AI-powered analytics, and even creative tools designed to support humans. But while AI is reshaping the world, we can't forget about the human element. We must remember that technology can be our partner, not just a tool to replace us. The challenge, then, is how we coexist with it, not just survive, but thrive alongside it.
I totally agree, but let's be real. AI isn't slowing down anytime soon. In fact, we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. We're talking about smart cities, healthcare breakthroughs, advanced education, and even AI-driven art and music. As these technologies become more embedded in our lives, they'll reshape every aspect of how we work, communicate, and live. And the more we embrace AI's potential, the more we can achieve.
True. But it's important to remember that it's not about letting AI completely take over. It's about guiding its growth in a way that benefits humanity. With AI's power comes the responsibility to use it wisely. We have to ensure that AI is being used to empower people, address global challenges, and create opportunities for those who might be left behind by traditional job structures.
That's a crucial point, host 2. We can't just let AI run wild. We need the ethical frameworks in place to ensure AI operates in ways that are aligned with our values. But let's not forget how AI is already creating amazing opportunities. Just look at industries like finance, where AI is helping businesses predict trends and make data-driven decisions in real time. And in healthcare, AI is helping doctors diagnose and treat diseases faster and more accurately. The potential here is massive.
You're right, there's so much potential. But at the same time, we need to ask, what does progress really mean? We shouldn't focus solely on what AI can do, but on how it can be used to improve lives. Progress isn't just about technological advancements, it's about social advancements. We need to ensure that as AI revolutionizes industries, it's also providing solutions for issues like income inequality, education access, and job displacement. That's how we can truly harness AI's power for good.
You're absolutely right, but there's something undeniably exciting about the way AI is already changing our daily lives. Smart assistants, voice recognition, and even AI-driven customer support are just the beginning. As AI continues to improve, the possibilities become more limitless. The real challenge isn't AI's capabilities, it's ensuring that we stay ahead of the curve, adapt, and use these advancements to enhance our quality of life.
And that's the real point here, isn't it? We need to strike a balance. AI should not just be a force of disruption, but one of enhancement. If we use AI to empower people, redefine job roles, and build new industries, then we can shape a future where both humans and AI flourish. The AI revolution is already underway, but we can still guide its path.
And that's exactly it. This revolution is happening now, and it's up to us to decide how we shape it. We need to move beyond fear and see the opportunity that AI presents. It's all about adaptation, learning, and embracing the possibilities that come with it. The question now is, are we ready to lead the way?
Ready, but not alone. We can't do it without each other. The key is in our ability to co-create with AI, not just rely on it. So let's focus on what we can build together, humans and machines, in a world that works for everyone. That's how we can move forward into the future with confidence and purpose.
So with that, we can say this. The AI revolution is here, and it's here to stay. But whether it's a force for good or just another tool in the tech world depends on how we embrace it and use it to create a better future.
Exactly. We have the power to shape this revolution. Let's make sure we don't just adapt. Let's thrive in this new world. AI is a tool, and we are the ones who will determine how it transforms our lives for the better.